breaking updates coming in. The Israeli Defense Forces has struck over 100 operational targets belonging to Hamas terrorist organization overnight and killed a Hamas operative who took part in the murderous massacre in southern Israel. Big update coming in of the Israel offensive. The Israeli Defense Forces has struck over 100 operational targets that belong to Hamas. And this is in the overnight shelling, killing a Hamas operative who had taken part in the massacre in southern Israel. The update coming in from the Israeli Defense Forces. Remember, top commanders of the Hamas have been killed and eliminated by the Israeli Defense Forces in the counter-strike over the last few days. After the attack on innocents in Israel, the counter-offensive by Israel has targeted the terror dens of Hamas, the top commanders of Hamas being targeted by the Israeli Defense Forces. My colleague Pradeep Datta is joining us from Israel with the latest on what's happening on ground. Pradeep, big update coming in. Israeli Defense Forces striking over 100 operational targets. This also comes amid the top commanders of Hamas also being eliminated.
See, punitive action against these Hamas commanders is continuing. You rightly said one of the top commanders who was believed to be the naval operative. His name is Amjad Majed. He has been eliminated by Israeli troops. They carried out that attack with the precision, and his headquarters was targeted, and he died in that operation. So far, more than 11 top Hamas commanders have been eliminated, which includes Bilal Kedra. Bilal Kedra is the one person who is responsible for kibbutz massacre, and this man, Amjad Majed, was also one of the biggest mastermind. He was the one who had planned infiltration of the terrorists from the sea routes and planned the massacre of innocent unarmed civilians here in Israel area. Besides this, Qadi has also been killed, and also Muqatib has also been killed. So many of the top commanders who were responsible for the attack have been targeted. Now they are looking for Mohammed Daif. Mohammed Daif is considered to be Baghdadi of Palestine. They are looking for that man. Besides, they are also looking for the coordinates about the person named as Yahya Sinawar. Yahya Sinawar is considered to be the main top boss of Hamas right now, operating from Gaza area, and he is the one who is considered to be most radicalized man, who has brainwashed and indoctrinated young minds, impressionable mind, converted them into killer machine and even human bombs. So they are looking for these people. Once the Mohammed Daif is eliminated, and it will be a big success for the Israeli troops. So they are continuing with the war on two fronts. On one, they are trying to take on those Hamas terrorists. On the other hand, they are trying to keep the cull heads of Hezbollah terrorists who are trying to target them from Lebanon area. So right now the war is going on two fronts, because already Israel have made up their mind that they are going to avenge killing of each and every person who were responsible for brutal attack on Israel on October 7th, when they continued with their barbarism and brutality and butchering, and where they did not even spare toddlers. 9-month toddler has been taken hostage, and right now he is in Gaza, and efforts are on to somehow release those hostages, because that is the biggest ever the operation that they are going to conduct, because right now each and every person here in Israel as well as in other international community, they are focusing on getting those hostages back, because there's a lot of pressure on them. Already we have seen that the backdoor channel diplomacy is going on. We saw that Rishi Sunak visiting Saudi Arabia. He spoke to the Prince of Saudi Arabia, asking him to use his influence to get those hostages back, so that they can at least get in touch with those Hamas people. But yes, even if there is going to be a negotiation, that will be from the position of power. They are not going to bow down before these people, because I had been speaking to many of the cabinet ministers. They also said the same thing. They said the time has come when Hamas need to be wiped out, because there is Hamas is not Palestine, and they do not represent the emotions and sentiments of Palestine. But the good news is what? Yes, the people of Gaza, that humanitarian aid has started already from Rafah border. It has started going. 8 trucks have been allowed by the Israel to move from the Egypt to that side. This is a beginning, because that is what actually the Joe Biden, United States of America president, wanted. For that reason, he had been to Iraq, want to express his solidarity, and also to ensure that the people in Palestine do not suffer, because they are trying to send a message loud and clear that they believe in human rights. They are unlike Hamas. They are not the one who will keep on resorting to the barbarism, because Israel is a democracy and they follow rule of law, and that's exactly what Israel had been doing, because from time to time we have seen that they are taking all sorts of of precautionary measures so that there is no casualty of civilian, there is no collateral damage. That's why from one ultimatum to another ultimatum, they had only been trying to show that people from that move to safer places, but Hamas people always want to use them as human shield. They are blocking their movement. They do not allow them to move out because they know once there is going to be a civilian casualty, that's going to only benefit them, because that way they will be projecting Israel in bad light and will continue to vitiate atmosphere there and the vicious cycle of violence that will continue. The same template that's followed by all terror organizations, whether it is Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Toiba, Al-Qaeda, ISIS or Hamas. Each and every terror organization in any part of the world is following the same template, and that is to put blame on other, and that way they are able to survive and thrive on these issues and on the bodies. Yes. They are nothing, but they are no less than the vultures who survive on the bodies of the civilians.
Absolutely. And top commanders have been targeted by the Israeli forces, Pradeep, like you mentioned, while the Hamas terrorists had targeted the innocent civilians in Israel. Israel is targeting the top commanders of Hamas, targeting the terror dens. Let's take a look at those who have been eliminated by the Israeli Defense Forces. This is Ali Qadi, commander of the Commando Force, a part of the Hamas, and he was also said to be one of the top targets of the Israeli forces. In fact, he was one of the Palestinian prisoners who had been released by Israel back in 2011. Another chief of that we are looking at, and here it is, the details, remember, have been released by the Israeli Defense Forces, talking about their role in the massacre of several hundreds of Israeli innocents. And these are top targets of the Israeli Defense Forces. They've also named the other operatives of Hamas who had carried out, planned and executed the plan on the 7th of October to target innocent civilians in Israel.